There it is. Oh, yeah, it worked. All right, here goes another how-to video. Now I've shown how I make my HAli-bama rigs in a tutorial before, but I'm gonna do something different today. This is gonna be my own spreader bar. So I'm only gonna have two lures hanging off of it, but why two? You'll see when it's done, but there's a specific reason I'm going to use this, and it's not going to be for swim baits. So the materials you're going to need, not that one. Materials you're going to need, steel leader wire. I use the AFW toothproof, 325 pound. I'm going to need some JB water weld. I'm going to need a long rivet, some pliers. Don't need the hammer actually. Water for mixing the water weld. You're gonna need some clips, so I'm gonna use 2 clips. So you got that one clip. Then I'm gonna use swivel, so I need 2 clips, 2 swivels. So that's all set. All right, let's get started. Okay, so I'm actually gonna make this a little bit different than my HAli-bama rigs. I'm gonna make it, I know it's only gonna be 2 hooks or 2 arms, but I'm gonna make 3. Two normal long ones. Two normal long ones and 1 short one. They don't have to be the exact same length. So let's see here. Well, these 2 I want to. Yeah, I guess. All right. Those 2 aside. I'm gonna do a short one. Okay. Oh, that went long. Okay, cut a short one. I'm gonna cut that down anyway, so it really doesn't matter. I don't know, this idea just came to me. I don't know how it's gonna work, but trial and error. Okay, set that aside. Okay, now we need to put these swivels and clips onto this. I don't use a wire bending tool. I just use pliers. Go that route. No reason behind it. I'm gonna bend this into a 90, or make a loop out of it basically. So there's my 90 right there. You see that's bent at a 90. Then I'm gonna take my swivel, put it in there. Now again, I haven't thought this all the way through, so it's a work in progress as I do this. Okay, now that that's done, I gotta go ahead and use my vise to wrap this around so it loops around. It's kind of hard to show, and I got this black box here, but I'll see if I can still do it. So again, I just take it, wrap it around 2 or 3 times. Actually, it's just going to be 1 full one, which is totally fine. It's 325 pound wire, so it's not like going to break or anything. All right, almost there. That's good enough. Cut that tag end off. Close your eyes when you do it. All right, crimp that down just a little bit so it's not sharp. All right, done there. That's 1. I'll go ahead and do it to the second one. Be right back. All right, got that second one done. Now I gotta make one of those eyes in this piece right here. So I'll do the same exact thing. There we go. All right, see that's at a 90. I'll do the same thing over here, wrap it. All right, so that's done. That's gonna be the head of it, 2 arms. Now we gotta put it on the rivet. So here's how the rivet starts. Again, these are just the Arrow. You can get these at Home Depot or Amazon. Arrow long rivets, 3/16 inch wide. I don't know what that is long, about what? Doesn't really matter because we're not going to use that. 2 inches. Then I just put it in the vice grip, hammer it down, get the nail out so it's like this, and then put this back in the vice, cut this, put it in so it's like that, and then cut it so it's only about, I don't know, 2/3 of an inch long. Alright, just so you can see, there's the rivet. There it is. So again, I just cut that first top off and it ends up about 3/4 is about the same size as this full thing in that little cylinder. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these arms, these 2 arms in there. I got to determine how long I want this first. So let's see here. How long do I want this? I think I cut the arms way too long on this though for what I want to do with it. We'll do about right there. Alright, that's good. Alright, so I'm going to cut both of these right there. Alright. Cool. Okay, so now I stick these into this cylinder here from the rivet. I'm going to take my pliers and I'm going to go ahead and grab this little tag end here and bend it all the way down. It's at a 90 right there, you see that? It's at a 90, but I need it all the way down farther. Alright, see how that's curved down? That's just to make it so that rivet can't come out. It's lodged in there. Same thing with this guy. I figure out how long I want this to be. About right there. So it needs to be cut. Right. Let's cut it right there. Alright, cool. Usually I do it the opposite way. I'd put it in there, crimp this bottom, fold that bottom, and then make this round, but I did it opposite for no other reason besides I screwed up. Whatever. Alright, so now again, just take the pliers, fold this down, or put this at like a good, I don't know, what would you call it, 150 degrees. Basically, again, just so it doesn't come out is all it's for. Alright, there's that. See that? That's done. That's done. Alright, that part's done. Now I missed an ingredient. Now I got to get this 2-part epoxy. So I put that in there, and then I crimp this down with wire crimpers. So it's like that. And then crimp that, and then we'll use the water weld. So let me get this mixed. Alright, so this is the Gorilla Glue 5-minute epoxy. So it's equal both sides, it pushes out equal sides. So I just need a tiny little bit. That's it right there, that's all. Make sure you pull back a little bit so that way air gets sucked in, so you know it's not leaking out, the resin's not leaking out, or the epoxy resin, whatever. Alright, close that up. Mix this for about 2 or 3 minutes. Now the only reason I put the resin or this epoxy in the inside here, and again it's not supposed to be on the outside, we're just using it there as a placeholder to kind of wipe it off and get it in here, but it's to make it so that when you crimp it down, these wires don't move inside it after I crimp it, because when you crimp it, right, you crimp this, the wire's round so it can still move. The epoxy helps it to stay in place in there instead of moving around, but it didn't really, I don't think that's going to do me as good a job as I really wanted it to do, because again, I'm not used to having the arm or that little piece right there. It's usually an arm not in there, so I can move that rivet down a bit more, but this is working out now. Alright, so then let's go ahead and take our crimpers here and just freaking as tight as oops, I don't want these on top of each other. Hold on. There. Gotta get those slid next to each other, not on top of each other. There we go. Now we're looking good. Get this guy all the way up. And then crunch. All the way down, as tight as you can get it. Crunch. Crunch. that's that. Get any resin that's left out there. Done. Wipe some extra off the steel. Now I'm going to let that sit horizontally for about an hour while this gets a little harder, and then we'll put the water weld on. Okay, and in an effort not to waste any time, I've already started the next stage of the process here. So this JB water weld comes in a little plastic tube. Then it, open it up, and it has this putty stuff in there. It's a 2-part putty. So you can see it has a gray part and the white part. Mix that together, and then it hardens over time, and it's waterproof and virtually like a rock. So I already cut that piece up. Go ahead and put this back in here. I make sure to wrap the wires in tape so I don't get it on there. You want a piece of some water. So the water isn't for the putty. The water is just to keep the putty from sticking to my fingers. So now you just go ahead and mix it. Shoot. There we go. Just go ahead and start mixing everything. And again, you don't want it to stick to your fingers, so I just use the water, like I said, to not stick it. And do this for about a minute or 2 minutes. Okay, now that it's all mixed up thoroughly, I roll it into a ball. Okay, now I get a screwdriver or something. Well, usually the screwdriver. And I go ahead and I put a hole straight down the middle of it, like so. Open that a little bit. Then I stick this top of it straight through it. The goal is just to get as little on that top part as possible. There you go there. And just kind of mold this around. I do this for a little bit just to make sure I have a decent shape on it. Make sure it's completely surrounded. Make sure it has completely surrounded the rivet inside. This piece is a little bigger than I wanted it to be, but so be it. At some point the OCD starts kicking in and you just gotta shut it off and walk away. I'll let this sit for about 24 hours, come back and finish it up. Alright, so this is all dried and ready to go. See, this rock hard. Perfect. Rock hard, ain't going anywhere. So now, take this tape off. And again, the tape was just to make it to where I didn't get any of that water weld onto the wires. Okay, tape's all off. Now, spread them. Gotta spread them. This is why I used the 325 pound. Make it into a true spreader bar. There we go. That's set. Now, instead of adding the clips to this, and there's a reason, again, I'll show you when it's all said and done, but instead of adding the clips straight to it, I'm gonna tie a line to each of these. Again, you'll see why. Just gonna use some 10 pound. I just use a regular clinch knot in the eye. One. Actually, give yourself some room. Make sure you have enough line out there to give yourself some tying room. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Back through. See, back through that loop in the line. Now this isn't fluoro, so I can lick it or don't lick it. I don't lick it at all. Fluoro, I lick. I don't know what it is about mono, but when I lick mono, it binds. Fluoro's fine to lick. So since it's being mono, I don't lick it at all. Okay, and I'm only gonna have this be maybe 4 inches. I'll go to about right there. Now I'll tie this clip on. Same knot, clinch knot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Back through the loop and cinch it down. Okay, go ahead and cut that tag end off here. Okay, I'll go ahead and do the other side. Be right back. All right, so that's all done. See? All right, we got our little spreader bar here. And it's got line attached to it. Got the clip with the swivel, line with clip and swivel. Now, I'm not gonna use your simple old freaking swim baits with the jig head. I'm not using these guys or this guy with the jig head. That's just a freaking Bama rig, right? I have the luxury of working with live target. So I'm gonna have a spreader bar with my live target Erratic shiners pinned on. But I need the line to make them lively. I know you think I'm crazy because this is gonna be like $25 worth of freaking jigs on here, but I'm gonna try it. Heck, I could even put jerk baits on here and swim 2 jerk baits on this thing. Who knows? But there you are. My own custom spreader bar to use with Erratic shiners. There it is. Oh, yeah, it worked. It worked. It worked. Oh, can't lose that. Ah. It worked. Slug. Slug. Oh. Oh my goodness. Hold on, bud. Yes, I know. There we go. It worked. There it is. On the double. It took the blue. Silver and blue. Let's look at the size of this one. Oh, 9 and 6. It's a 15. It's a 15. Let's look at that in the sun. You stud. All right, later, bud. There it is. Double.